What is up, everyone, and welcome to the MMA Bourbon Appreciation Society, episode 72. And we are live, and of course we are not live in our normal studio. We are live at the Speakeasy in Granite City, Illinois at 1318 Niedringhouse Avenue. Big thanks to them for letting us in and doing the show here tonight.
Selfless plug.
Absolutely, it was a selfless plug.
Fuck yeah, they let us in. You have the key. You own the fucking thing.
Just partially.
Why'd they let us in?
Just partially.
Craig almost
Just
sets a
partially.
record.
Anyway, very minor, very minor. No, tonight we are talking all about National Cocktail Day.
What do you say?
By the way, Jeremy Johnson, Jim Range, and
Cheers.
Craig Nasello. How's everybody doing tonight?
Hello.
Good.
Are we all doing well?
Sure.
Good.
We'll go with that.
Good. Perfect. Let's make it happen.
Craig's Craig. How's that?
I'm crabby.
Perfect.
I'm tired.
You're always crabby, and you're always tired, and that's okay. Whiskey fixes everything just like it.
So doesn't porn.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so tonight we are all talking about National Cocktail Day.
I got a drink on that, so
yes.
I stop laughing.
I couldn't help it.
Tonight, though, Jimmy Range has a cocktail in front of him that we're going to make that kind of goes along with the theme of National Cocktail Day. So Jimmy is going to give us the history, after I make a drink tonight, of why we call it cocktails. So first off, though, tonight, let me make the drink.
I got one question while you're making it or
Hit
getting
me
ready
with it.
to.
Go for it.
Ernest Hemingway had his own cocktail. Why didn't you make that tonight? It's called Death in the Afternoon. Absinthe and champagne.
Ew. I don't know that.
So I knew a Hemingway Daiquiri. I've never heard that one.
Yeah.
What is it called?
Absinthe you can get. Death in the Afternoon. Absinthe and champagne.
Interesting.
I think I'm going to have to pick a Saturday when I've got nothing going on, I'm home alone, and experiment.
Now I'm trying to find the
That's
absinthe
what
at
you
the
call
bar.
it now?
So, all right. Anyway, tonight
I'll do research. How's that?
we are making a Peychaud's Aperitivo Sour with bourbon. So tonight, being that one of the potential starts of the term cocktail is Antoine Peychaud's, who, I'm sorry, what?
No, go ahead.
Okay, was Antoine Peychaud's, who also created Peychaud's Bitters in New Orleans. So tonight we're going to start off with this one. So we're going to go 3/4 of an ounce of sour, 3/4 of an ounce of simple syrup. I am 100% avoiding Craig.
It wasn't
Half an ounce
It wasn't
of
me
bourbon.
this time. It was Jimmy.
It was me.
Still avoiding all of you. And an ounce and a half of Peychaud's
That's pretty good, wasn't it?
Oh, God damn it.
Aperitivo liqueur, not Peychaud's Bitters. So
That really got me.
wants to know if you're going to complain about the mixer.
Who wants to know?
If you're
I'm
going
going to
to
complain about the mixer.
shake
No, I'm not, because this one's mine. So this one will be great. Hang on, we'll make, see, look, works out perfectly.
it, as he splatters it all over me.
That's all right. That shirt could use a drink. All right, give that a good shake.
Yep.
So again, 1.5 of Peychaud's liqueur, 1/2 ounce of bourbon. Thank you, sir. 3/4 of an ounce of sour, 3/4 of an ounce of simple syrup. Give it a double strain into your coupe.
What's the double strain for?
The double strain keeps the ice chips out of it because you don't want little floaties in your drink. Take that and garnish it with a lemon wedge on the side. Let
Very
that
good
float.
lemon wedge.
And that is a Peychaud's Aperitivo Sour.
I guess you don't rank it high enough to get a
yeah.
lemon wedge.
That's all right.
Something like
What
that.
It's not bad.
What did I do? That's
He's
not
looking for
bad.
his lemon wedge. He didn't get one, and he said, "I get telling you, I guess
all
you
good. I don't
rank
need
it
it.
high enough for a lemon wedge."
He gets a lemon wedge now. There we go.
There we go.
All right.
Fuck,
Jimmy, what do you
too
think
late.
of it?
I didn't think it was that bad.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. It's very different. It's
Yeah.
you either love it or you hate it.
Didn't think it was that good either, but
Yeah, I mean, fair. So
I mean, it's not something I'm going to say, hey, I want to have it,
4 or 5 of them, right?
but it's something I could see sitting there having one.
Not bad. Not bad
If
at
I'm
all.
only going to have one drink, that could be it.
100%. It's a before dinner cocktail.
Mm-hmm.
So supposedly to increase the appetite, hence the aperitivo, which is what Peychaud's was all about back in his apothecary days, whenever he supposedly created the term cocktail.
you're not gonna eat a gummy to help with that, right?
I mean, that's
Yeah.
fair. All right, Jimmy Range.
All right.
I know that we do have a little bit of why
We got a
there's a
little bit of
National
stupid,
Cocktail
yeah.
Day and
Well,
why about the term.
It's essentially a Hallmark cocktail. This person, Jay Shoemaker Galway, who is a holiday maker, decided we need one for a reason to have a day that we drink.
Do we really need a reason though?
No, that's what I couldn't understand. So why do you have a cocktail day that's every freaking day of the week?
Exactly. So
I mean, I may get questioned if I have one every day of the week, but why do you need to have a special day for it?
absolutely, I agree with
So, but cocktail is traditionally. Go
My
ahead.
biggest thing is why the fuck's it on a Monday?
Well, it's
Well,
a day. It's
Yeah,
March 24th
It's always
every year.
March 24th,
Okay.
no matter what.
And you know there are no drinking holidays in the month of April.
The religious people
Yeah,
stop
there
that.
is. It's fucking Easter.
Well, but
At least, I mean,
no made
if
up
you're
one.
Catholic,
Well, it's your Alcohol Awareness Month.
if you're Catholic,
Oh, is it?
Yeah, but we're not canceling the show for that. I'm going to tell you now. 'cause
Absolutely not.
We're well aware of it.
100%.
And we're going to let you know more about it
Yes.
The biggest marijuana holidays in April.
to make up for alcohol awareness.
There you go.
so we just say fuck it and do drugs.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever you got to do. So.
Fair enough.
I mean, so cocktails traditionally, spirits, sugar, water, and bitters, as you spoke to earlier in
Yep.
that. What's interesting, it was somewhat inspired by British punches, where they take fruit juice and spices and that,
Okay.
and pour their liquor into it in giant bowls with it.
Fair.
Similar to bathtub gin.
Bathtub gin back in the days,
Yeah.
especially in Prohibition. So.
Right.
But
You know, talk about Prohibition. Right after Prohibition is when cocktails got really popular. You know why?
tell me why.
We're in a speakeasy, so it's very appropriate.
Well,
Speakeasies.
look at that. At 1318 Knee House Avenue, Granite City, Illinois. Thank you.
Like that layup.
Jesus fucking Christ, could you hit that?
I can sell it like a
Dude.
champ, gentlemen.
But no, speakeasies, because during Prohibition they would make their own liquor. They could make it in small batches and that, and they didn't have to age it as long. So making a cocktail is adding the different flavors and bitters and that to it. Took away the nasty taste and smell.
That is
So that was done initially to mask it. a
right.
lot.
It was done a lot to mask the idea of what the sulfuric content
Yeah.
of some things, especially after being done in the bathtubs. That's how that all really came
Yep.
about. And they decided then, okay, if we add the fruit juices and things like that, it gives us a little something different.
Maybe add a bath
But-
bomb.
Yeah, bath bomb,
Yeah, a
whatever.
little bath bomb.
But so go into the world though of Antonio Peychaud, what he did down in New Orleans.
I'll let you talk that one.
Okay, so Antonio Peychaud.
Sazerac, one of the
For
greatest.
all you
bass-
that don't know, Jimmy just didn't look that one up.
No, I know about it.
I'm just fucking with you.
No, so what this one is
Hey,
is
Arian Zekny says that you're like Skyneck. Jimmy's self-aware.
absolutely he is.
Anyway.
So no, but Mr. Peychaud started this in his apothecary or pharmacy back in the day in New Orleans, and he had came up with a stomach remedy that now we know as Peychaud's bitters. He also had produced a few liqueurs with that, and he used to serve them in basically what was an egg cup. And that egg cup was called a cocktail in French. And they believe that that potential then is that people couldn't speak the French end of it, so cocktail came out as cocktail, and that's how it was all truly born. That's how the name really came about. Now,
That's a
there's-
legend
So
aspect.
what
is-
you're
that is the
saying is Americans are fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Well, they don't, but well, no, the one that's really bad
Just kidding.
is the horses behind one.
What? Wait.
That started the
Don't
name
even
of
go. Don't.
cocktail.
Let's not even go down there.
Do you want to know that one?
Go ahead.
Okay.
You're boring me with all the other shit, so let's bore
Fair.
me with
All
this.
right. So the other potential that they talked about the name of cocktail came from was that in the days of Kentucky, whenever they were doing their bourbon and trying to make a drink and have it and sell their horses, that they would take a little bit of ginger that they would put in their drinks, and they would stick it in the horse's ass to make his tail cock up. So in order to make your horse look like it was more excited, they would cock the tail up by slapping ginger. I don't buy that that's where the name came from, but
Why
that
are
is
you gonna
another.
slap a ginger? They didn't do nothing to you.
I mean, but that's where it all comes.
Oh,
so
God.
there's a bunch out there though. What else am I missing?
So
Jeff?
no, I think that's good. We're not going to go into some of the other stuff because it bored the hell out of Craig. But what I did find interesting, the first known cocktail party
Yes.
was here in St. Louis in 1917.
Really?
A Mrs. Julius Walsh invited 50 of her closest friends to the house
I don't have 50 friends.
That sounds
for
like
a cocktail party at 12 noon on a Sunday afternoon.
Sounds like a swingers party to me.
I mean,
That's what I took it as too.
Upside down pineapples.
Well, that's what they used for their fruit juice.
is that where it all started? Oh my God.
You got
This really
cocktails
isn't
and
bad.
swinger parties out of that.
All
bitch.
right. So moving at, we want to talk about most popular drinks now?
Well, so I found this one interesting though. So according to Nielsen, which does a lot of ratings, they came up with a list of the top 10 cocktails of the United States. I'm a little number one, I'm a little put off that there was not enough whiskey cocktails on this because there should be plenty of bourbon on this list.
There should be, but
There isn't.
There isn't. There never is.
At all. All right, so
we're going to get straight.
I can tell you number one if you're in the Midwest.
We're gonna
at least
go
in this area.
Okay, go ahead.
Bud Light. Anyway.
Fair. Okay. But we're going to go around the room and everyone is going to guess what cocktail is on the list. Producer DJ K-Pop.
Are you asking what bourbon cocktail or what cocktail?
What any cocktails that's on the list. Pick one. Great. All right. Way to get even.
Glad we went to the fucking, glad we went to the audience.
What's it? Cosmo. A Cosmo is not on the list. Craig Nasello.
Old fashioned.
Old fashioned is number 5. Producer Matt.
Rum and Coke.
Rum and Coke. Rum and Coke is not on the list. Jim Range.
Margarita.
Margarita is number 1, ladies and gentlemen. Margaritas here in the United States. It's a Mexican cocktail, but hey, it is not the number 1 cocktail
It's
of
almost
Mexico.
May the 5th.
But it is. But all right, so the list goes as follows from 10 to 1. Number 10, a Bellini, which is a fruit paste cocktail mixed with some champagne. Number 9 is a mimosa, to which we've all had way too many of on Sundays. Number 8 is a spritz of any type, so that would be like an Aperol, an Amaretto, something to that. Number 7 is for everyone who absolutely hates their life, hates their family.
Who's 21 or under?
Who is 21 or under, and that is, of course, the Long Island iced tea, ladies
I was
and
just going
gentlemen.
to say Long Island iced tea.
Every
100%.
bartender's favorite drink to make.
100%. From the comments, is vodka on the rocks a cocktail with a lime? Absolutely it is. So, it would actually be considered a vodka martini on the rocks.
Because all you do is let the vodka
Yeah.
or the vermouth breathe over it. You really don't put any in, so yeah.
Number 6 is a mojito.
Mojito?
Mojito. Number 5, of course, is the old fashioned. Number 4 is my least favorite drink to make as a bartender in the world, and that is an espresso martini. They're terrible to make. I hate doing them. Absolutely. What's that?
They're good.
Oh, they may be good, but
Now I'm going to come in and order
I
espresso
am
martini.
too.
So the problem-
Just to be a dick and I won't
Okay.
even drink
Make it
it.
a double.
Yeah, make
So-
it a double, sir.
So here's
Stacy
the
will.
problem. If you walk into a bar and you order an espresso martini and the bartender makes it for you, he is now going to make 7 in the cup at that time because everyone around is going to go, oh, that looks good. Oh, that looks good. Oh, that looks good. And then everybody wants them.
Chocolate martini is the same way.
Oh, my God, I hate
If it
that.
doesn't have 3 beans, you don't get to tip them.
Exactly. Yeah. If you don't have 3 beans, you're just screwed. So, all right. Number 4 is a Moscow Mule. You don't like? No, you don't like ginger. That's
I
right.
don't
like
do
ginger.
Good though.
Kentucky mules are amazing. Moscow mules are just drinking liquored up ginger beer.
Yeah.
Number 2 is the classic martini. Jimmy Range, how do you take your martini? Gin or vodka?
It's gin.
Yes, it is. Stirred over or shaken?
It's stirred.
Good job. All right.
So you know why James Bond is shaken, not stirred, right?
Why is
Because
that?
the traditional martini is stirred,
Mhm.
and it's his take of being James Bond and being different.
And it's also a Vespa. He does a Vespa, which is a 2. Yes.
Friend of the show, Aaron Ozeki, big fan of the martini.
Yes.
It's the blue cheese olives for some reason.
Well, so a traditional martini is a savory cocktail. I've done them with pepperoncinis. I've done them with pickle
Ariane,
juice.
that's not what I hear, but whatever.
And number 1 is the margarita. All right, guys, out there in this, what do you think of it? Is that your choice for the top 10? Craig, how do you feel about it? Do you feel that this is an accurate representation?
It's pretty accurate. I mean,
Go into a
you
bar.
can go you can go to any bar and get a martini or fuck
Margarita.
Margarita, thank you. I mean, there's 15 million Mexican restaurants on each corner down here.
Fair.
So, I mean, like, you go to Alton, there's 6 Mexican restaurants, and then they all serve
But-
martini or margaritas.
Let's take a step back. We talk about there's no real bourbon ones on the list. Walk into a bar, ask for a Manhattan, ask for an old fashioned, see if it's made right.
No, that's
They
why
don't get made enough. People don't know how the hell to make them.
That's why every time we go somewhere.
Top 3 bourbon cocktails.
Oh, good question. Top 3 bourbon cocktails. Producer
In no
DJ
order.
K-Pop, what are yours?
Don't do this to me.
Okay, fine. All right. Jimmy Range, in your order, go.
In order,
In order.
favorite's going to be a rye Manhattan.
Okay.
Second's going to be old fashioned.
Okay.
with bourbon. And I'm a believer that Manhattans are rye
Fair.
and old fashions are bourbon. That's just my rule. That's the way I look at them.
Okay.
Because I think the rye goes better with the sweet vermouth. And then the third one would probably be a Sazerac, but you don't get that made out very often. You got to be in the right place.
We're going to me? Okay. All right, in order, it is going to be, I want a New York sour done correctly with an egg white.
Yeah.
That is 100%, and that's the red wine float over the top. I would like a good old-fashioned, and I'm not talking muddled orange and muddled cherry because this isn't Wisconsin. That's the only one that you should do that to. And number one, I have to say, is a Gold Rush, which is a honey syrup-based bourbon cocktail.
Yeah.
Amazing if they know how to do them right. So, Craig, yours.
Mine is definitely going to be an old fashioned. You guys, I
So
do this.
we'll
This
go-
is all three.
Yeah, all three of them are old fashioned.
No, like I really like to smoke old fashioned, but anytime we go out, you guys all know.
That's how you judge a bar.
That's how I judge a bar. It's
Yeah.
like if I went to an Italian restaurant and I judge it by their marinara.
Fair.
Period.
Okay.
I thought you judged it by their unlimited breadsticks.
I don't go to that type of Italian restaurant. Sorry.
Is that the Olive Garden?
Olive Garden.
That was straight
But-
trash.
I would say that, and then the sour, the whiskey sour.
Sure,
with
a straight
Yeah.
whiskey sour.
No,
yeah.
no, with the egg
The New
white.
York
Oh, okay.
sour.
New York
Yeah,
sour.
the
There
New
you go.
York.
Thank you. And then after that, really don't do a lot of.
He doesn't do Manhattans because he
Yeah,
doesn't
I
do
don't
rye.
like. I don't like rye.
Sure.
So
Matt, yours.
Another friend of the show, the Slap Fight, Cole,
Colton Cole.
Man Fashion, which is an old fashioned
Yes.
Manhattan that he smirched.
That
Yes,
is
that was really good when he made that farce.
Yeah, he did make that on the show here. So go back and check those out on Spotify to check out all of our past episodes. Give us a follow there and on YouTube for all of our back episodes. We just recently played the one of our St. Pat's ones. But yeah, you can go check out all of our episodes on Spotify and on YouTube. So with it being National Cocktail Day, though, I brought, I liked the one that we did. I'm going to put a couple more out on Twitter for everyone just to pick some of the stuff that we've done.
We're going to throw
And,
some old ones out too.
Yeah, I think we should put some of our old drinks out there too, because we've had a lot of.
We say we're going to, we never do, but Matt, Jeremy, and I were talking about a way to do it, and we're going to give it a shot.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. So, all right. With that, let us know though, guys, in the comments. Does this list of 10 to 1 meet your demands? What is your favorite bourbon cocktails out there? Let us know in the comments. Up next, we jump to the world of our sip, sink, and save. And of course, that is where we are going to sip one, we are going to pour one down the drain, and we are going to save one for a special occasion. And of course, that is all brought to you by Brad Carey at Unrivaled Realty. Check them out at unrivaledrealty.com for all of your buying and selling of real estate needs. Tell them that you saw it on the MMA Bourbon Appreciation Society, and we are here to help him spread the word. Check it out. Call or text him at 314-378-6939. That is Brad Carey at Unrivaled Realty. As producer Matt straightens the bottles, as he's hidden behind the graphics, we all saw that he did that on purpose, which is fine. So, okay, we're going to come back. So, Jimmy Range, we jumped into the world of boutique bourbon tonight. Kind of give them an idea of what boutique bourbon means.
It's really just, I'm going to call it a micro distillery. It's similar to the micro breweries in beer. It's not any of your major distilleries or small ones in communities that they've come out. Some of them source their bourbon. Some, we've got one up here that's 4 years old, I think, maybe
Three.
5, 3 years old. No,
Three.
The distillery's 4
Oh,
or
yeah,
5 years
the
old.
still is 4 or 5 years old.
So
yeah.
based on a minimum age statement of 3 years on this one, I'm betting they source their own, or they
You think
batch
they
their
source-
own. No, they
Okay.
batch their
Yeah, I
own
think they did too.
bourbon with it. Castle and Key, which I think is crossing the line from boutique to being a bigger name now, but I still consider it a
I
boutique.
would still consider them a boutique
They
in a beautiful location.
came out when they started bottling or distilling their rye and bourbon. They let it sit and they have revenue going. They did vodka and gin.
Right. Which
But
is
they
a smart
finally,
move.
right, because we were down there in 2020 bachelor party and stopped by there, and all we could sample was their vodka and gin, which was really good at the time.
You've been married 5 years?
Yeah.
Good Lord. It's
Especially
impressive.
hasn't fucking drowned you yet.
I am
I
too.
really am too.
After the other day, I thought she was going to shoot me in the store. I got it really bad.
Let's
But,
see. In the comments, let's see. We definitely have some fans of the martinis, it looks like. Arian knows all about the 3 beans, we were told. And it's a big yes on blue cheese olives.
that
Okay. I'm not. That's all I'm going. Don't even. Nope. We're not going anywhere else. All right. Craig DeCello, you're up first. Give me your sip, sink, and save.
I'm gonna sip the Ruddlers,
Ruddle.
Ruddles, whatever the fuck it's called. I'm gonna save the Iowa because it's not the greatest. It's really young, so we could use it as like a mixer of some sort.
Sure.
And this one just really didn't taste the greatest. I think it needs something else.
Okay.
A little flat.
Interesting.
It landed a little flat, but this Ruddles is really good. I like it. It's a little sweet, but I liked it.
All right. So one more time down the row.
Sip, save, and then sink.
Got it.
All right.
All right. Jimmy Range.
All right. This one I think was a 92 proof. Yeah, 92.2. This one I don't remember.
Gotta be.
That's an 86, and I think this was an 86.
I
So
believe
this was
so.
the higher proof. But I'm going to go from my left to right. Sip, sink, save. Reason being, this one being sweeter is a little bit easier. That sipping it, man, I could sit there and do it. And, I mean, I'm not going to sit there and do it like I would a more mature bourbon, but it was pretty good just to sip. This one was just too young. You got
There's a
after
lot
a couple, you had a
missing.
lot missing with it. This one I don't know the age statement, but this one I think is sourced because it's bottled. It's distilled in Tennessee and bottled in Texas, but it's hard to say.
So, but this is a single
single
barrel straight bourbon, bottled from one 53-gallon cask. There are no more than 280 bottles of this bourbon in the world. There we
So
go.
that's a typical single barrel.
Yeah, that's a really great marketing
Yeah,
gimmick.
but it is. It jumps out at them.
Absolutely.
Hey.
That's the only
But,
one you're going to taste like that.
So yeah, I think with this one though, just the sipping it, this one had enough complexity to it. I think that's what got Craig. Because I said to you at 86 proof, I thought it was
Yeah.
probably a 95 to 100 proof. Not quite 100, but it was mid to high 90s.
It was weak.
I didn't find it weak.
I
but
find it weak.
On the aftertaste and that, with the finish, I thought it was complex enough. You could mix it or you could sip it if people came over.
Okay.
This one, I would not save and share with other people. And when I look at a save, I got people coming over. That's not the bottle I'm pulling out for them.
Okay. All right.
So sip, sink,
What's
save.
the prices on these? Do we know?
So these are running anywhere between $30 and $45.
Okay.
They're not overly expensive. These were some that I have taken on recently. Whenever I get whiskey into the bar, I actually sit down with my distributors and we'll taste them. So, and I'll make sure that it's something that I think would really be a decent pour. So number one, I like all of them. I did whenever I brought them in. They all had in their own individual quality.
Yep.
But I am going to, in this one, I am going to sip the Milam Green. I'm going to sink our friends from Iowa, and I'm going to save the Rutter's Mill. So reason being is this one has, I see where you're going, Craig, that you said there's not a whole lot to it, but it's got just enough at that 86 proof point that it's got some flavor. It works as a decent, and it has a really marshmallowy, almost s'mores nose to it.
I don't like marshmallow.
Yeah,
so
exactly. And I could see 100% why that went there. But it really does have a marshmallowy kind of feel
Agreed.
to it. The Iowa, which will actually be up by Cedar Ridge Distillery here this weekend, Craig and I will. It tastes like it tastes like young. That's the best way to describe it. It has a very light taste. It does have a extreme corn front end to it, but it also has a little bit of astringency and a little bit of earthiness to it. So I would pour that one down. And then the Rutter's Mill has a great sweetness to it. At a higher proof, it sits almost in the idea of spicy, kind of a spice cake kind of taste to it. And so I was really into that one too, but I think it would mix really well for anything that came in.
I don't know if
just
I would
because-
mix that one because it's low proof enough that.
Well, so that one's at 90. That's high.
That's the
not-
highest
But I'm
proof out of
saying
the 3.
at 92, it still doesn't taste
Yeah.
like a 92.
Oh, no,
No.
at all.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
It's such a low proof taste that sipping it's not that big of a deal.
No.
This one, only reason I say this one to save is because if you want to do a mixer, it's something cheap, it's something easy. It's going to not going to take away from other aspects of the
Yeah,
drink.
no, 100%.
You know.
That one would, and I
Sometimes
could
you
see,
put too high of a
and it eats away at
it
what,
eats
what
what
you're
you're
doing.
trying to do, yes.
So that plays into the idea of do you honor the spirit or do you honor the mixer while you're creating the
Exactly.
cocktail? Yeah, and that's a very valid thing. So, but yes, I am going to sip, I am going to sink, and I'm going to save. And I believe that tonight we all went absolutely different
Very
directions.
different directions.
So, yes, producer Matt.
A couple of questions about boutique bourbon.
Yes.
Would you consider like still 630?
I would consider Still 630 a boutique / micro. I would consider Switchgrass a boutique. I would consider Whiskey Acres. I would consider Blackshire a micro distillery because it's really not sold in stores. For me to be a boutique, you have to be able to be sold in stores also. You do have to have hit that.
Yeah.
So I would think that more than anything. If you're a distillery-only product, that's really the only place that you can do it. That to me is you're
Wood hat.
You're a wood hat. Yeah, you're a micro distillery.
Wood hat, yeah.
But wood hat you can get in stores. So I would consider him a boutique.
Oh, yeah, you can, because there are a couple.
There's a
Beer
few-
Sauce
yeah,
has them
yeah,
in St.
so-
Louis.
But I don't know. Let us know. Have you had any of these out there? They are relatively easy to find and come across. They are, like I said, between that $35 and $45 price point. And so let us know in the comments what you guys think and what do you consider boutique bourbon? What is your favorite boutique bourbon? Let us know in the comments. And again, of course, that is our Sip, Sink, and Save, and it is brought to you again by Brad Carey at Unrivaled Realty. Check them out at unrivaledrealty.com on the web for all of your buying and selling home needs. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump into the world of combat sports. And the first one I am very sad that we have to bring up because we lost a good one to the gods this week. But of course, this is brought to you by Yoroi Tape. Check them out at yoroiusa.com for all of your athletic taping needs. So, Jimmy Range, being our boxing aficionado, and being that you are, Jake Paul is your favorite fighter, let me know.
You're just a jealous bitch.
I really am, but that's okay. No, tell us all about the big loss this week.
Yeah, it's disappointing with George. I mean, he left a pretty big legacy of the game to
George
me.
Foreman, if you
George
don't know who
Foreman.
it is.
Yes,
Is that the grill guy?
yes, the
Yeah.
grill,
We'll
the
get there in
grill
a
guy.
minute. And we got a little bit of trivia with that part of it too. But no, I mean, you look at that era of boxing in the heavyweight division. And it's not like the heavyweights now that they're 260, 270. These guys were all 200 to 215, 220 tops when they fought heavyweights. George was Olympic gold medalist, 2-time world champion.
At what ages?
45 was the second one. The
And
other
that's amazing. He won a heavyweight championship at 45 years old.
knocked out Michael Moore.
Yeah.
Some people said it was a dive. George swears it wasn't.
What was the first one? What age?
First one, so he won the Olympic gold medal in '68. He won his first, went pro the next year, and in '73 he beat Joe Frazier for the title.
At what
Amazing.
age?
So that'd be 25
Nope, 19. 19 years old.
when he won his first championship.
That's what I heard on the radio today. It was 19
He
years
went
old.
pro at 19. He didn't win his championship till 4 years later. He did not win the title at 19.
Double
Google
check
is your
that.
friend. Let's look him up.
Matt, can you look that up for us? I don't think he was 19.
Oh.
Could swear they said 19 today. When they were
He
reading
did
his
give
own-
up one, and he did give up one of his belts. When he won at 45, he did not do an immediate defense, so he gave up his WBA. He defended his IBF and lineal, because when he won at 45, he was WBA, IBF, and lineal champion.
Okay.
He gave up the WBA because he was not going to immediately defend it, because they wanted an immediate fight. So he gave it up, defended it once, won, then he retired after the next one. But in '74, after fighting, and when he finally had his first loss against Ali in Rumble in the Jungle, shortly after that he quit fighting and came back 10 years later. That's when he became a born-again Christian, had the 5 boys named George.
That's so messed up.
Yeah, but it's
minister.
hysterical. Yeah, became a minister and that. But, so here's the funny thing. Matt brought up the George Foreman grill. Everybody knows he had it.
He did, absolutely.
So,
Who was asked to do the George Foreman grill?
that
first?
missed out on it.
I know
Exactly.
this one. I know this one.
Hulk Hogan,
Hulk Hogan.
did not answer a phone call from his manager.
No, from what I heard, he passed on it and went with
No,
this
he didn't
meatball
answer
maker.
the call.
Oh, okay.
He didn't answer the phone call.
Yeah, I had heard something too that he
Yeah.
passed and went on something else.
No.
Meatball maker or some shit like that.
Weird.
Yeah.
But he
Anyway,
passed on it. George got it. George made so much more money from the Foreman grill than he ever did in his career.
Interesting.
how many units were sold?
I don't know that. I did not look up.
Over 180 million.
I heard it was something absolutely.
I knew it was 100 million
astronomical.
plus. I didn't know.
180 million over.
That's
Or over 180
crazy.
million.
But I mean, it was definitely a big hit to the boxing world.
Yeah.
Losing him. I mean, it was a great. Think about that era. You had Ali, you had Frazier, you had Norton, you had Foreman, you had
Oh, yeah.
Cooney.
Tons.
I mean,
tons.
geez, you had 7 or 8 top-notch pros in that era in the early 70s.
Crazy. So, yep. Well, let's all raise one to George Foreman, and we will. Yes, absolutely.
George.
So, absolutely.
Him and Bob are up there bullshitting right now.
I could see that 100%.
Bob's already got him fucking annoyed, I'm sure.
So, you know,
Kidding.
Bob at the National Boxing Hall of Fame did a rope-a-dope in the Madison Square Garden ring in Madison Square in the Hall of Fame, didn't you?
No.
Michael Moore, Steve, not Michael Moore, James Toney, Steve, Bob were all up there. I forget who the other fighter was. It may have been Michael. And they're up there in that. And James like, can we get in it? And the guard's like, sure. So Bob, of course, gets up in the ring and he's doing rope-a-dope on. He's acting like Ali in the ring. Typical Bob.
That's awesome. Yeah, and Bob Barton was one of the good ones in the world of boxing too. So, all right,
Yes, he was.
Jimmy Range. Moving on to the next in the world of combat sports. Tell me all about it.
I don't have another one.
You don't? That's terrible. No, we did have there was another boxer who passed away too, and I hate the fact that I can't remember his name now. So, but it was a rough one on that week. But we also have seen now in the UFC the loss again of one Leon Edwards. And Craig, you were telling me you saw this one coming.
Yeah, Edwards is just on a decline. He's a little bit older now. And it happens with every fighter, especially MMA fighters. It's just, I didn't see him beating this guy. I didn't see him losing the way he did, but I just did not see him beating this guy. This guy's a lot younger, hungrier, I'm sure. You know, Edwards has already been champion once. I'm not very, between him and Fabian, I'm really not been impressed lately. They've both been fighting way down.
And to me, okay, this goes back again to the idea of the lack of star power in the UFC.
Yeah.
100%.
You know, so what do you guys think in the audience? Is there now a serious lack of star power in the world of the UFC? Another one that I wanted to bring up this week is there is still more talk about John Jones and Tom Aspinall. Have you all seen the latest numbers of what they are claiming may be the purse for these guys?
It's stupid.
It's in the range of $30 million.
So is this part of?
Is it worth it?
So are they getting 15 each? Or
That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing this is the potential. Well, I'm hearing Jones is going to get 20 something.
Jones has asked for $30 million.
Okay, Jones has asked for $30 million himself. That's crazy, producer Matt.
So who's backing it?
I would assume that the Sheik's got to be backing it.
Yeah.
100%.
I think it's going to be part of that.
Well,
Go ahead.
no, go ahead, please.
I seen the numbers on their boxing.
Their boxing pay?
I was like,
Oh
yeah,
my goodness.
fuck, that's worse than UFC numbers.
Yeah, it was insane. Producer Matt, can you pull up what the UFC boxing pay rate was going to be? Because I want to say it's a no-name fighter is like 10 grand, which is like,
Depending on how many rounds, it's not a bad payday.
that's terrible for boxing.
No, you'll get a lot of 4-4 starting.
That's
But
terrible.
on a big platform.
No,
that's
no, on a big
platform.
platform, you're
it's
right.
not the
It's
greatest.
not.
No,
it's not. Especially signing
I've
the
seen
contract
guys
to that.
locally get 10.
From the comments, UFC is at a plateau and not in decline, but it isn't growing.
I agree with that.
I don't even know if I could call it a plateau at the moment.
Ariane says champs make 750.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
And when you got one guy making fucking 30 and 40 million dollars
So let's go.
in boxing, I'm
Oh,
talking
100%.
No, agreed.
Or what did Canelo just sign for? 7
$400 million.
$400 million for 4 fights.
for 4 fights.
Yeah.
So,
I
but
mean-
let's go back to the last show. We talked about Dana being part of TKO Dashik and everything, right?
Sure.
My number one comment was, what's that going to do with the Ali rule? Dana
Well, he told
doesn't-
them what the money's going to be, so it's there.
But that's all Dana's going to pay. Dana is not going to let them go out and earn what they can get. He's going to say, this is what you get, that's it. How many fighters are really going to go do that just for the chance when there's so much money other places?
It depends on those guys that are fucking itching for a chance.
Okay, so
You could throw a rock and find a professional boxer looking to make a payday.
Oh, 100%.
You know, I mean, 10 grand.
But then you
is
got
not a
my
lot of
boy
money.
making what he makes as a mediocre journeyman fighter.
Have been around the world of pro boxing on a pretty decent level, not huge, but on a decent level. I was amazed at the $10,000 for the first starts of guys who have never been in that league, because
Now, I can see if you've never fought professionally and your first 4 or 5 fights.
because I've worked with people who were 6 figures on their 8th fight, 10th fight.
Right.
And it's like, this is a slap in the face to some of those guys of what they're making.
But Arian
You know-
just gave me the background on it. This is why, Arian, I love when you're here to chime in. Aliak doesn't go outside the U.S.
That's a fair
So that's why
statement,
they
too.
went out, because Dana can pay what he wants.
But it's not even really, the Ali Act isn't really about even it's the fact that they have to know what you're making. They have to know what the event is making. They have to know what the fighters are getting paid. That's all public at the Ali Act. But yeah, I didn't even think about it not being. That's interesting.
That's an interesting.
That's interesting, Ariane. Good call.
That gives a whole
Okay.
new twist on it.
Got the salaries here.
Producer Matt, give us the salaries on microphone, please.
I forgot my battery.
Okay, Pete forgot his battery. Tell me, I'll
Kerry, you got
go
him
with
taken
it.
care of?
An unranked fighter, $20,000.
Unranked fighter, $20,000.
Top 10 fighter.
Top 10?
$50,000.
That's asinine. Top 10 fighter, 50 grand.
Third or fourth ranked fighter is 125.
Third or fourth ranked at 125.
A challenger is 375.
Challenger at 375.
And defending champion is 750.
Defending champion is 750.
So is that a
That's
flat rate? That's
terrible.
not a show win? That's
There is
a
no
flat
show
rate.
win.
That's the minimum wage.
Yeah.
So my next question would be, now do they get sponsors?
Not under Dana, they're not going to.
Depends.
Depends. It's
Because, well,
I know, I'm saying, knowing Dana and his history, he's not going to let them have sponsors.
the only reason that they got rid of the sponsors in the UFC was for the UFC to fucking sell it, to make it more corporate. That's the only reason they did that. It's one of the main reasons I know that. But
Okay.
you also had to, because I remember when my brother was going to sponsor Matt Veach, we had to send everything to the UFC. Then we had to send the money to the UFC. Then the UFC paid it out.
yes.
It was fucked up.
But that's different in boxing.
Right.
So in boxing, the fighter or fighter manager handles all of the sponsor money.
Ariane,
Unless
please quit drinking and text clearly. I don't know what that fucking
I know what
says.
Arian meant, and Arian, we'll talk about that soon.
Anyway,
Ariane drinks like the rest of us. That's why we love him. Okay,
no
but
one drinks like me.
no one drinks like you. That is a true
No,
statement.
nobody drinks
But-
like I do when we have a show in my house.
But the thing is that it's all about the idea that in boxing, the fighter gets their sponsors their money. It does not go to the UFC. It does not have any. It doesn't go to the promotion.
Right.
So let's say it's a Golden Boy Boxing. All right, Golden Boy Boxing doesn't touch anything that the fighter gets.
Right.
Now they may go out and get a sponsor to pay that fighter's salary
Right.
that they have agreed to, and the fighter will then go, okay, cool, I will wear their logo on my shorts for my $1 million payday
Right.
or my $500,000 payday that I've been apart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, they lessen their liability.
Hey, I've had to sew short logos on in
No,
hotels
I'm-
in
it makes
California many
sense.
times.
And Ariana, it might have been the banana hammock.
Oh,
If you've never,
No, Dennis Hall.
Dennis Hallman wore the banana hammock. Yeah, with the mask, the mask that did the
Elevation mask?
elevate. Yeah. So and Condom Depot was on everybody's rear basically in the day. So of the day of sponsors.
And there was another like machine guy, right? Like a machinist.
So Dynamic Fastener.
That's a.
And Dynamic Fastener is actually local.
Oh, really?
yeah,
Yeah, they do a lot here. They do a lot of fighters, but they were big into that. So, but anyway, all right. So, do you guys think that this is number one? Are these pays fair? Since we went down the boxing road,
I mean,
if you're gonna go get $100,000 and be a
if it's a 4-round fight or a 5-round fight for $100,000, then yeah, fuck it. Why not?
interesting.
But is the brain damage worth it?
so
I'd
to my mind, what you're going to get, your big fighters aren't going to come because
No.
they're going to max on their salary and they
Well,
can't
most of them
negotiate their
Well,
salary.
most of them are already signed anyway.
Well, even up
to
and
big-ass
comers.
contracts.
Well, that's the whole thing. You get a couple of fights on your deal. You get a couple of fights, then a potential of a regional title or whatever they're going to call it at that point, because you know the WWBA does the North American, this, that, and the other
Yeah.
titles. You
Yeah, but
can
they're
get
not
to
going to
those-
have that. He wants to fucking streamline it.
Oh, I know he
Streamline-
does.
Streamline it. I am kind of with him on that because I'm tired of fucking
WBA,
15
WBA,
Yeah, you got-
WBC.
you got all these different fucking belts. You're like, okay, like
What do the fight cards look like?
Is it going to be 4 or 5 people? Is it going to be 10, 12 fights?
are they all going to be in Saudi?
I 100% think they're all.
Fight
I'll bet money they are.
an all-night thing because they're looking at 10 rounds for most of these fights.
That would be painful. But
Most
I
of
will
these
tell you.
fighters at the journeyman and they aren't going to be able to go 10 rounds.
But well, and I will tell you. So I have done a couple of pretty big boxing events, and I had one where we fought at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and the main event wasn't until 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
It was incredibly
Fuck,
like
you'd be on
long
the
and
flight
steep.
on the way back by then.
Yeah, I was ready to go. I mean, we were done, packed, ready to go. You know, but yeah. So I don't know. What do you guys think? And also back to my original: is the John Jones $30 million? Is the draw worth it? Would you pay the money to ESPN for, and I'm throwing in ESPN because that's where my next thing is going. Would you throw the money to ESPN to watch Tom Aspinall and John Jones?
No.
Craig, would you do it?
Fuck no.
Jimmy Range, would you do it?
Yeah, but I do stupid shit like that.
Producer Matt, would you do it?
I'd make it a night at the house is why I would do it.
It gets back to your thing, lack of stars. I think maybe John has questioned himself. If this is a legacy risking fight, is he risking his legacy?
He 100% is risking his legacy because Tom Aspinall is the one who has the tools to beat him. From the comments,
Heard
Dave
that.
Wilson, Dana is no Don King. You're damn right he's not.
Heard that a million times now. And I am not a fan of John Jones, really. But who can fucking beat him besides Matt Hamill and IPO? I mean, he Three Stooges him.
But I
I
mean,
mean,
serious
fair.
though, who?
Emote him.
Tell me
12 to 6
Tell me
elbow,
a fighter
baby.
better.
And now it's not around. So, have you seen Tom Aspinall fight though?
Actually, no.
He's amazing. Actually, and he did beat
Did
Jake
he?
Collier. Oh yeah,
BJ?
yeah.
It was
Back in the
actually
old
a
days.
pretty close fight.
It really was. Like it was legit.
It was one of
It-
Jake's better fights, honestly.
But it was back in the old days.
But
Older
again,
days.
like I said, I've never seen the man fight, so I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean,
It's a.
but
tough
I've
one to
always
see.
heard, we've heard this a multiple times. Gustafsson is going to beat him, and then this person's going to beat him, and this person's got the best chance of beating him.
Ken Cormier.
And they come out and they get fucking schooled. Plain and simple.
And he changes. That's the thing that gets me is
He
John
adapts
Jones
so
changes
well.
and adapts
Yeah.
so well.
And he figures them out.
I thought Rampage was going to beat him.
beat him to the fucking buffet line.
Oh goodness!
The
All
only
right.
reason to beat him there is because there's a line of Coke on the way.
Now let's take this to the next level here with that though.
Here we go.
All right. There is now a massive rumor that the UFC is finally leaving ESPN
What are their deals?
and going to Netflix, because that's where TKO, that's where wrestling is went. So producer Matt, come close enough to the camera that they can hear you, because you have to explain this. How did the TKO deal work with WWE? Because I think that the pay-per-view concept stopped, right, with WWE.
The pay-per-view. So, WWE has gotten really smart. They have basically 3 main shows. They have their SmackDown, their Raw, and their NXT.
Okay.
Those are on 3 different networks.
Okay.
So they have 3 different television deals, plus a 4th deal with Peacock for all the pay-per-views, which are free. So if you have Peacock, you can watch WrestleMania, you can watch everything
So
for free.
I've
So
seen
they have
that.
4 different sources of income and Netflix obviously being the biggest one, which I believe could end up being a 10-year deal worth like several $1 billion.
Is that why my fucking Netflix went up again?
Yeah, one of them.
And also they're getting ready to pay for the UFC.
So, and that's that. But that was my question. So
Well, they're all under the same banner now, right?
For
UFC. And,
TKO, it's PBR, UFC, WWE, and then TKO Boxing.
Yes.
And Slap Fight. I think is all.
Right. So, do we get to see pay-per-view on Netflix now?
Well,
Is that where you think we go, or do you think they give it to something like WWE did?
So people who have analyzed this whole thing, they feel like ESPN did not get their money's worth, because when they negotiated the deal, it was when they had Conor and Ronda and John Jones.
So they're talking about the idea the pay-per-view buys are down because there's no star
No.
power.
So
which
they
we've
wouldn't
been-
put money into their services because UFC was their biggest one.
First thing,
That had that.
their pay-per-view buys aren't down because of the star power. Their pay-per-view buys are down because their fucking service sucks.
Absolutely.
It is the
100%.
worst fucking streaming service I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
But
Hands
that's where I went with the reason ESPN saying we're not putting the money in to beef it up because you're not giving us the star power we had before.
And
So,
another
Ariane-
factor in this too, ESPN just did a max offer deal for the NBA. They were bidding against TNT. TNT had NBA for like the last decade, and ESPN broke the bank to keep to get WNBA and NBA.
Ooh.
They have all since then rejected offers from MLB, Formula One. This is the
Really?
first time- Formula One leaving is a big deal. MLB is a big deal, even though nobody watches MLB anymore. It's still
MLB
it's
is
been
baseball, right?
Baseball.
on, been
Okay.
on it's been on ESPN for 25 years.
Wow. Okay.
Something like that. So they have basically put all their eggs in the NBA.
That's what the roots were built on.
Yeah.
So Arian said it's not solidified yet, Matt. Apparently, Apple's making a large bid for him as well.
I had heard the Apple deal was a
Yep.
potential too. That it was. This
And I
isn't
tell
a
you what,
done deal.
I like Apple's streaming service. Apple's streaming service.
It's solid.
is
Their
very
soccer
good.
is flawless.
100%. Everything I've ever seen
Yeah,
on
because
Apple
no
is
one
solid.
fucking watches soccer.
You'd be amazed. It's the second biggest sport in the world.
No, it's not.
Absolutely, it is.
Biggest sport.
100% it's the biggest.
Well, cricket.
Cricket, I thought was
What
first.
the
They were
fuck is
second, and
cricket?
judo was third.
Dude,
Like
if you
for
ever
world
watch cricket,
sports.
it's unreal to watch and play.
Fucking.
I would think Formula One would be a top 5 too.
I don't
It's getting
know.
there.
Crazy. So, all right. And finally, this evening, I bring you my question that I don't give them options to know about beforehand. So, with this one, I am going to bring this bottle to the forefront. That's right. It's a bottle of Proper 12, which goes back to Mr. Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor this week has made mention that he is now going to run for the president of Ireland. Craig Nasello,
What'd I do?
is Conor McGregor the next president of Ireland?
Fuck, I don't know. I don't live in Ireland. Couldn't tell you.
Would it be worth it? I think it would be amazing. You would go around smack old guys at bars.
We have a fucking reality star as our president. So I mean, nothing would surprise me.
Fair.
I mean, he's pretty popular over there. So
Conor
And
does-
he's calling the bullshit out.
He really
Similar
is.
to what's happened in the States with calling stuff out.
Well, and
We're not going down a political road there, but
Wow.
he is very vocal
could.
right now. We're not going to though.
Okay.
But he is very vocal on all the shit going on in that country. With money being taken from schools and everything.
There's a lot
he
going
is
on.
calling it out publicly.
So I want to answer something for Arion. You're absolutely right. ESPN is owned by Disney, which is owned by Viacom, and they are hemorrhaging money. That's one of the reasons they sold Bellator.
Fair. All right, back to it though. Do I think Conor McGregor is the next president of Ireland?
I don't.
I don't either. I think that he actually has
Nothing would fucking surprise me.
No, nothing would surprise me. But I think that it would be I think it'd be a lot of fun. I think I'd want to go to Ireland again. You know. I think he'd stop a lot of the issues that are going on over there, a la what we're seeing here in the United States of the potential. So we'll see. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think in the comments here or on our Spotify, of course? Will Conor McGregor be the next president of Ireland? Again, follow us along. We ask, it helps us out a lot. Follow us on YouTube. That's a big one. And then, of course, check us out on Spotify. Yes, producer Matt.
What's more likely, he'll fight Michael Chandler or be president of Ireland?
Be president.
Be president of Ireland 100%.
He'll get off on all rape charges.
Fuck.
Okay, then let's throw one more in it. Will he fight next in the UFC, or will he fight Mike Perry in BKFC?
BKFC.
There's a question.
Here's the thing: he's still under contract.
I know, and that's my whole thing. But that's what everybody's talking. Like, he's going to fight in
So,
BKFC. He's still got one
I'm
more.
just going to say this, and I am going down a political rabbit hole with this one. Conor, if you win, we're not fucking taking Rosie back, bitch.
That's right. Rosie
She's
O'Donnell
yours.
moved to Ireland. You can keep her. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for episode 72 here at the MMA Bourbon Appreciation Society. Big thank you for watching. Of course, again, we are at the Speakeasy in Granite City, Illinois, at 1318 Niedrig House Avenue. Open Thursday through Saturday. Check us out on Facebook here.
And don't forget Uppercut Whiskey.
Wow, we're about out of here at the bar. We must have had a special this past weekend. So, no, if you ever want to check out some of the drinks that you see on the show here, come on in. The bartenders all know how to make them also, so we teach them what it is because we, believe it or not, have had a lot of people who come in who ask for our drinks here. So
And if she doesn't know, we hit her.
exactly,
Yeah.
because it works out. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen,
Child labor.
we thank you very much, and we'll see you next time right here at the MMA Bourbon Appreciation Society.
Bye.
Bye.